Good morning, everyone, and we welcome to you live from Lawson's. Yes, Lawson's and Whetstone, where we have just been first thing in the morning to get the necessary sheet to cover our sukkah because it is going to be an exceptionally wet sukkah. So I have to tell you that every year I go in there and they automatically say, "We wish you a good Yom Tov. It's lovely to see you. Is your sukkah up?" Because they know, they feel it. It's in the air, friends. And so we are going to share a Sukkot idea, okay, one that I don't think you've heard of before, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But today's learning is dedicated to memory of Leah Bas Feivel, Sivia Bas Mordechai, Avram ben David Slavin, Shlomo ben Yisrael Morris, Eliezer Shalom ben Avram Shmuel Beret, Tipera Fegela Bas Reuven Baruch, Shalom ben Elia Lee, Ben Bas Feivel, Yirmiyahu Yechiel, Ben Achav ben Moshe Eliezer, from Shoshana Bas Yaakov Shmuel, Sarah Malka Bas Binyamin, and the yacht sites for today: Chaim Dov ben Avram Yisrael Korn, Yaakov ben Chaim Palmer, Rachel Bas Avram Eliezer Temple, Mendel ben Beryl Gross, Jonathan ben Yosef Jesna, Chana Bas David Hakohen Setil, Chaim ben Zalman Shaw, Laser ben Yaakov Simmons, and in memory of Linda Lyons. I don't have Linda's Hebrew name. I think it's Leah, but we wish all the families long life. And in particular, I hope everyone doesn't mind, but we wish Marsha Gladstone long life, the yacht site for Yoni Jesna. May his memory, along with everyone else whose yacht sites fall today, be your blessing. So, live from Lawson's, okay, not a place that we Jews visit often, okay. As you will know, we're not into DIY. We're certainly not DIY enthusiasts. But it's interesting that there is a joke that's going around about social distancing and the festival of Sukkot. And I'll let you into a little secret about the joke that's going around. You see, on the festival of Sukkot, there is as with every festival, there is a spiritual energy that we can tap into. So each festival has its own energy, right? And when we revisit that time period in our year, in our lives, then we are able to tap into that energy. So if we were to imagine, Rav Dessler gives the analogy of if we were to imagine we were in Brent Cross, okay? And if you go to Brent Cross and you go to M&S, let's say, it's on 3 floors, as far as I recall. I'm not a frequent visitor, but I think it's on 3 floors. So each floor that you go through, you are still in M&S in Brent Cross, okay? Whether you're in menswear, women's wear, whatever it is, you're still in the same store, okay? So says Rav Dessler, when it comes to each period of time in our lives, we are in the same, even though it may be more years after the event. So be it in 2020, or be it in 1920, or be it in 1420, the time of Sukkot, we are just moving through like an elevator shaft through time. And therefore, when it comes to Sukkot, we are, as it were, all in the same time period. The same spiritual energy is there. So each day of Sukkot, we tap into one of the aspects of the spiritual energy. Is we are visited by a very special guest. And here's where the COVID joke comes in. So we know that we have each day that we have, the Kabbalistic tradition is that a different guest comes to visit our sukkah, right, our oasis in time. And there are 7 guests when it comes to the festival of Sukkot, 1 for each day. There is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, 1 for Abraham's the first day, Yitzchak's second day, right? Jacob's the third day, and then you have Moshe, Aaron, David, and Yosef. Okay, I think I've said them all. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moshe, Aaron, David, Yosef. Correct. Okay. So when the COVID rules came out and they said you could only have 6 from different households mixing together, the joke went round Northwest London that one of the Ushpizin, one of the traditional guests that we have, would not be able to come to our sukkah this year because he'd be breaking the rules of COVID, the social distancing restrictions. It was just a joke. Okay, so what is the spirit? What is the energy that we, or the legacy of Abraham that we're meant to tap into on the first day of Sukkot, which starts tonight. And I think that Abraham, we know, was the Omid HaChesed, he was the pillar of kindness. And I want to say an idea in Chesed, in kindness, which I think is changes our perspective. And when we're starting out the year anew, it's really important that we understand what is charity and what is kindness, right? They are not the same. Don't confuse them. Charity is when there is a real pressing need, be it in front of me or people that are asking me, or you hear about a cause, right? There is a deficiency. There is a need to fill that void. Okay? Abraham, the paradigm of chesed, of kindness, what is the story in the Torah of Abraham's kindness? It was when he was visited by three celestial beings, three malachim, three angels, right? Angels do not have physical needs, and yet we see that Abraham went out of his way to prepare everything, to prepare the food and everything else, and they made out as if they were going to eat and partake of, and they partook of the food, even though in fact they don't have physical needs. So the example in the Torah of hospitality, of chesed, is something that where there isn't a real need. So it's something which, not that somebody asks from you, but it's purely because you want to perform an act of kindness to somebody else. There is no request, there is no need for it, but yet you want to do something extra to make that person's life more pleasurable, more enjoyable, right? And that is chesed. So you don't wait till there's a need, you don't wait to be asked, you look at where you can perform an act of kindness, you can give to somebody else, and that's when you do it. And that, if you think about it, is in all relationships the same. Think about it, right? If you were to come home on your spouse's, let's say your husband or wife's birthday, and I don't know, let's say, you know, slippers, right, or socks, and you say, I know that you're going to really enjoy using what I got you, because I noticed that you have holes in your socks, or your slippers are worn out, and therefore I went and got you some new socks or a new pair of slippers. What is your spouse what's the reaction gonna be? Well, they'll probably throw it at you, but after they've thrown it at you, they will probably say to you, that's not very thoughtful. And you're going to say, thoughtful? How dare you? This is the most thoughtful gift possible. I know that this is something that you're going to use, and I know it's something you're going to need. But true chesed, kindness, right, where we are bonding with somebody, giving to somebody, it's not something that is an essential need. That is a given that they're going to get. It's a matter of doing something, giving something to them, sharing something that they don't need, that they don't ask for. So there's an extra tip of what you should be looking for when it comes to birthdays. Okay, so as you can see, we are going to have to leave because we've been sitting in Lawson's a long time, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people that will want these premium spaces to get their last minute preparations for Sukkot. So we're going to move on, okay, and we're going to move on to Psalm 23, okay? So all together, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even when I walk in the valley of darkness, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Memorial prayer. Adon Olamim Zacho Es Nishmois Le'abas Pivot Zivas Mordechai Avram Ben David Slavin Shalom Ben Yisrael Morris Eliezer Shalom Ben Avram Shmuel Ben Tiferet Fegel Abbas Ruven Baruch Shalom Ben Eli Ali Ben Abbas Pivot from Shoshana Abbas Yaakov Shmuel Sarah Malka Abbas Ben Yomin Yirmiyahu Yechiel Ben Achav Ben Moshe Eliezer Chaim Dov Ben Avram Yisrael Korn Yaakov Ben Chaim Palmer Rachel Bas Avram Eliezer Temple Mendel Ben Beryl Gross, Jonathan Ben Yosef Jesner, Hannah Bas David Cohen Sethill, Chaim Ben Zalman Shaw, Laser Ben Yaakov Simmons, Linda Lyons, Shalchu li olamam began Eden teimenu chasam lachein v'lerachamim. Yasirein b'seisa kanafav l'olamim. Yitzobat chayis neshmasam adenayim nachbasam. Yanucha mishkavam v'nomar. Amen. Lastly, a full Shlema prayer. Of course, the news in Israel needs to improve. We want it to improve, as well as everyone else who's unwell with COVID. We'll make a full Shlema prayer. Misha Beirach Avaseinu Abram Yisrael Yaakov Moshe Aaron David Shlomo Yivarach Rebezachayim Avoshanu Mispalim Baburam Bezazagadosh Baruch Hu Yimale Rachim Aleichem Lach Malachos Sam Yishlachim Fushleim and Shemaim Lechol Levim Besof Shachol Yisrael Rafus and Nefesh V'Sagov Hai Shabbat Zman Karev and Amar Amen. A good morning to Rachel, Helen, David, Powell, Harry, Sharon, Mervyn, Estelle, Caroline, and everyone else who's been joining us in this rather wet preparation for Sukkot. Nevertheless, it cannot dull or dampen our enthusiasm, our excitement for the festival of Sukkot, because as we've learned with COVID, it's mind over matter, and whatever happens, we can change our mindset and ensure that we are in the right frame of mind and enjoy this festival. Wishing everyone a Chag Sameach, a Shabbat Shalom. Look after yourselves, keep safe, keep well, and please God, we look forward to seeing you back after the Yom Tov with a new time. It will probably be at lunchtime, so that way you won't see the wandering Jew in your rabbi in weird locations like Lawson's trying to make videos, but we'll be able to be in the more calm, organized environment of my study. But in the meantime, it's so good to have you learning with us. Keep up the good work, everyone. Enjoy the festival. We'll see you soon. All the best. Take care. Chag Sameach.